do. Come here, microphone. Alright. Hi guys, and hello from nowhere. I am Nada, and we are working on this again. I am trying so desperately hard to finish this. I really am. So she and the horse are 85-90% done. But I do have kind of a background that I do want to do. And so I'm going to pull up my reference photo. Oh, I need to start my time lapse. Did you hit the button? I didn't. Okay. Okay. Okay, this is gonna be sky, if I can freaking spell today. Okay. Well, why don't we try the airbrush for a minute? That way we can just play with it. I like clouds. They make for good scribbles. Good scribbles. Scribbly scribble. 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 That's no. That's in the wrong spot. Let's do one over here. And then we're going to swap that over to the blue. I'm going to take this color, turn it up. Whoops, clang. Some shade in here. If you can't sing and art at the same time, then what is the point? I do kind of want to take the color, I actually want to spin it into the warm tone. That way I can add some value in between here. The fun part is it doesn't have to be perfect. It really doesn't. Because this is background. I love a good background. fact, what I want to do is I kind of want to go. I'll take this layer, add a layer in between. This is going to be this. I'm going to practice something real quick. Right? The best way to do that is do it on a separate layer. Then we're going to take this. Where do I want it? I want it right about there. Yeah, right about there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that color. And we're going to go over here to gradient. Oh, see, that works nice. Yes, 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 yes. Very good, very good. And then we can go back here. I'm going to go ahead and leave that on there because I don't think it'll hurt nothing. I want to swap back to the darker color. I actually kind of want to use it to define some additional clouds that are kind of off in the background, but you don't necessarily see. And then we can go in here, take that color, swing it around, add just a hint, some pink. Oop, that might be a little too boisterous here. Yeah, let's add some fade. In those spots where that light hits it ever so much. Whoops, wrong button. And I actually want to take that one. And then we're going to go in here. Maybe a little too narrow it down some. Just because I am weird like that. Blur it just in some spots where that line really does kind of stand out too much. Okay. For now, that will work. And then we're actually going to go back to this. And then we're going to inverse. Select inverse. So now we've got the bottom half. Go back here. And then this is going to be the ground. And I think my two colors will be kind of in the mud, but a darker mud. The background, is that about what I want to be? Okay. And then I'll start. Crayon. Bigger. Bigger. It went sideways. There's a method to my madness. Okay, transition. Let's see. Okay, swap it around. We're gonna go back. This may look crazy, but I have a plan. Because when these are so opposing opposite colors, they make for an excellent gradient. And of course, I keep doing that. Fine. I didn't want to do that. I was enjoying being upfront. Okay. Now we're going to go in with the green, but we're going to go with a darker, bolder green. And slap some of that in there. And some over here. There's going to be some here at this. Oop, actually that's a little too low. I need it up here. There's a method to my madness. This doesn't look like it right now. Get that under blending layer in here. We're gonna go in. Okay, then we're gonna go in. We're gonna go in with another layer. This is ground detail. Now that I've got the base layers on here. And then right about here, I need some additional detail. A little bit more of a vibrant green. Up the spacing. Nope. Not fat enough. There's a method to my madness. Doesn't look like it, but I promise there is. Layer, filter, Gaussian blur. Okay, I'm going with that color. Narrow the band. Narrow the band. Zoom this puppy in. And now and blend. No, 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 no. I'm far too white. Would help if I was in the right layer. And down here, swap it brown, drop it to that color. See how it drags the yellow in? Sort of. Devil's in the details. I kind of need the yellow over there. Spread the yellow. I gotta go back here. Swap it there. 'Cause I do need some more green in the background. More of a blend pattern there. Okay, now down here, actually I need that right about there. I need that color, drop it darker. Do, 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 do. do want to splash some yellow in there. Yeah, that looks much better. Don't get me wrong, the purple makes for an excellent undertone. And there's some more down here. Just smear that stuff around. And then there's actually one thing I need to do, which is take that color there and just drag it across. Actually, it needs to be brighter than that, because there is a sunlight line. Shit. Can't get this line right. Because it's way in the background, way on the horizon line. There you go. And there's a couple other ones. There, the brush. Way up there. I remember these look very uniform, and honestly, some of that is true. It's just in the background, they kind of do. It's just the more you add, the more chaotic it looks. Because remember, this is layered already. Not so much up here, so I get more definitive highlights. And then down here, see, now it's looking more like vegetation. Okay. And then we go down in here. Some of that darker color. Well, is that the darkest I can go? Yeah, there we go. And just layer upon layer upon layer. We'll get these blended. And then we got down here. Now this is where splitting it up like this really helps. And then going in here with a wider brush so you have wider stances. Wider still. Excuse me. Nope, that's too high. There we go, yeah. I need to keep it down here. Okay. And then I want to identify a little bit of this that's more specifically partial shadow amongst the grass. Okay. Now we have a general background. I am going to deselect. And then I do want to take that color, drop it down a little bit more of a purple. Because this is way in the distance. Okay. Okay. Now we do a more detailed layer. This is going to be the fence. So there is technically a dual fence because there is a first fence which is a barbed wire fence, and then there's a secondary fence which is more of a chicken wire fence. Sort of, kind of. Or not necessarily, but you know what I was thinking. Now I don't have to do all of this particular fence because my proportions for this art piece is different from my actual reference photo, but I do want to go in here and at least put like one post. There is a secondary one back here, and we will work from there. Okay, so these posts are made out of wood. They are more of a gray beige tone to start with, and it is about, actually they are about eye height, and they go all the way to this dark line here. So we're just gonna play. Gray blobs for the win. Then we're gonna go in here and we're just I'm gonna keep it cool toned. I'm going to go into the darkers. Narrow my brush. Zoom into my post. Add some of that shadow. Which the great thing is since it's wood, it doesn't have to be perfect. But the shadow is distinctly on this side. And there's a nodule there. There's a nodule there. There's some nodules over there. Deeper color still, because there's plenty here to work with. Narrow that brush again. because I can. That man's way too wide. Add the oil pen for more definition here. Big old dark spot down here. Where's the dark spot down there? Ah, excuse me, pardon me. I know, it looks very out of place. And that's okay. Because then you go in with an even darker color and start adding even more detail. Actually, I should probably go back to the crayon brush. I'm gonna have to change it up some. Add some of that definition in here without overly defining. Back it out. It could be improved upon, but I think we'll stop with that one for now because there is a secondary post. What I should do is I should Nope, no. No, Control T. Because this other one is actually over here. Kind of tucked behind the leg. We start there. mesh transform. Zoom for emphasis. That's not what I said. That way, there's some of that going there. Basically, play with the dimensions some. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but. And that'll work. We're gonna go in here with the eraser tool. Erase that nodule. Doesn't necessarily need to be there. Okay. That'll work for now. I'm actually going to and then merge down. There we go. Fence. Okay, now we're gonna go in here and deselect. And then we also need to okay. So this is where we're gonna have some fun. And by fun, I mean I have to turn this whole thing sideways. Alright. And there's a reason I'm rotating it right. Nobody panic. Okay, so I need the pen brush. Because this is where we start doing the barbed wire. Or the wire, anyway.
Upon opening the book, something shifted.
And now I must wait for the advertisement of the music to finish. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. I don't care about the advertisements. Skip the advertisements. Okay. And it's basically consistently, and it's kind of all the way down. Now that one. Okay. And yes, this goes all the way to the ground. what I should have been doing. Now I can continue the fence line. Oops, that went way crooked. Oops, way too crooked, way too crooked. And then nope, not like that line. Okay. Now we're gonna take everything. We're gonna rotate it left. So we're back up to normal. Now. This is where we get to have some wibbly wobbly fun. Wibbly wobbly fun. Wibbly wobbly fun. And then the other one goes like this. And they touch. Okay, so like that one goes like that. And then go like that. Just like that. And we gotta do it over and over and over and over again. But yeah, it's basically like that. That's why you want the lines relatively consistent, because then you have to do this over and over and over and over again. Well, that didn't work. Start it over again. Why are you lagging? Stop lagging. Ow, that hurt. What are you doing over there, dog? My dog is being weird. Big dog, what are you doing? Okay, so I don't need to do that for the bottom 3 rows, so I just need to do about 2 more rows of these. At least on this side anyway, and then I gotta do the other side. Doesn't that fence look great? It tries so very, very hard. Actually, the fence does go all the way down to the bottom row. It's just it's blurred out by all the detail in the picture. Oh, my neck. Whoops, that went way wonky. Trying to keep these consistent, man. Alright, almost done. Not. Nope. Oop. That one went sideways. Oh, crick in my neck. Okay, well there's the fence. Is it perfect? No, not really. But I think that's good for now. In fact, I think we can call it just about finished. Yes, there is still some tack I need to put in there, but honestly, I can add those later. But for this as a project in a whole, I think we can successfully call this complete. So for that, I will call this project done, at least as far as streaming wise. If I do any additions and stuff, I may do that later, but in the meantime, I think we'll just call this one from here for now. So I will see y'all another day. Bye.